And I'm talking to a very terrific man, Modi of India. And I say, what's going on with you in Pakistan? Then I'm talking to Pakistan on trade. I said, what's going on with you in India? And the hatred was tremendous. Now, this has been going on for a hell of a long time, like sometimes with different names for hundreds of years.
According to Donald Trump, the India-Pakistan conflict has been raging on for hundreds of years, a claim he made yet again. This after making a similar one soon after the Pahalgam terror attack in April. Interestingly, Trump, who has labeled most of popular media as fake news, may want to fact-check himself for a change.
At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
For starters, India gained independence in 1947, the very year when Pakistan was founded. That's 78 years ago. So for the US president to be claiming that the India-Pakistan conflict has been raging on for hundreds of years is rather ludicrous. But most importantly, Trump has repeated his claims of mediating between the two warring nations, one that he has now made for over 40 times. In fact, he has yet again boasted about using trade as a leverage, a claim categorically demolished by Prime Minister Modi, External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar, and India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri. But the timing of Trump's fresh salvo of troll claims stands out, given that Trump's additional tariffs of 25% have now kicked in, bringing the total to a whopping 50%, the highest US tariff so far. Its impact on exports of low-margin and labor-intensive goods. In the line of fire are goods like apparel, textiles, gems and jewelry, to shrimps, carpets and even furniture. As a result, India's merchandise exports to the US could drop further, that too by as much as 40 to 45% in the current financial year. It amounts to 2/3 of Indian exports to the United States. Call it temporary respite, but as of now, 30% of exports to the US will also remain duty-free. That includes product categories like pharmaceuticals, electronics and petroleum products. Auto parts will face a 25% tariff rate though. But to add more context, the highest US levy has placed India at the greatest disadvantage in Trump's new global trading order, even more so at odds with China, India's prime competitor and America's principal antagonist in Trump's trade war. But the tables have turned and it's now advantage Beijing. The country is already on a 90-day tariff reprieve. Most importantly, the 50% tariff on India now risks undermining a key American strategy that was being used by its importers in recent years, that to shift production to India, only to lessen their dependency on Chinese factories. So will China gain out of this? But what's clear is that India's economic dependence on the United States will reduce. For your information, it resulted in more than $200 billion worth of trade in goods and services just last year, all curtailed, perhaps now in favor of China, Japan, Europe, Australia, Africa, or other partners in the global south as India looks to diversify. But India's Prime Minister Modi is firmly holding his ground, maintaining that eventually his economy, currently among the top 5, shall prevail through its mantra of self-reliance or Atmanirbharta, whether in sectors of farming, defense, trade, or even rare earth minerals. Modi's message to Trump is loud and clear, that tariffs will not stop India's growth story. India's economy, expected to be among the top 3 within the next few years, has weathered many foreign storms. To begin with, the global financial crisis of 2008 that did little damage to India. That's because New Delhi depended less on international capital than most big countries. Its cushion, India's giant consumer market. But India in 2025 is different. It's much more integrated in the world economy now. And the disruption that the new tariffs have caused is already being felt. Only shipping containers arriving from India after midnight will face the full 50% tariff burden, with majority orders either cancelled or postponed for weeks now. The damage done is not just to the business scene far from the shipping ports, but it's also to the trust of a trade partnership. one that contributed heavily in shaping the strategic partnership between New Delhi and Washington as well. A relationship cultivated by both sides, diplomats and policymakers, for more than 25 years. For India, which was confident that its importance to the United States and the rapport between Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Trump would earn it a reprieve, the question is, what will bring a turnabout for both India and the US? Because this trade war is undoubtedly poised to spread beyond the concerns of importers and exporters.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.